I think we're heading in the right direction. It is a good start, certainly. Plenty of work yet to be done, but I'm pleased with the initial progress in several areas. Athletes' primary goal is, of course, graduation, continued academic success, make sure that we provide the support they need to prosper, flourish in the classroom so they can pursue their dreams as they matriculate, leave A&T, and go into the wider world. For our coaches and our student athletes, we also hope for athletic success, competitive success as we compete in the MEAC and as we compete with non-conference opponents. We hope to be athletically sound as we interact with other teams. Why, with appropriate focus and attention and allocation of resources, recruitment of appropriate student athletes, we cannot compete successfully for 5 MEAC championships a year. Obviously, probably not in the same sports each year, but there's no reason why we shouldn't win several MEAC championships every year. 5, I hope, becomes something that we expect becomes a baseline for us. We've never had that kind of success. The best year we've ever had is 3. Historically, that's the best year we've ever had in the MEAC. So 5 would be unprecedented at this point. But I'd like it to become where we expect to live. 3, 5, and better in their majors. Very pleased with that level of performance. Roughly 20% of our student athletes are excelling academically, and we're certainly pleased to see that and to be part of that. We'd like to expand that kind of success and provide the support necessary for other student athletes to enjoy that level of academic success. We're very pleased with that. We celebrate athletic success, as we talked about previously. It's monitored and tracked and reported on. If you do very well or very poorly, it will be in the papers. People will talk about it. We don't do as good a job monitoring or celebrating academic success. So we can change that culture a little bit in the department so that we recognize and give it the appropriate place in our conversations and in our emphasis that academic success deserves. These are students, obviously, first and foremost. One of the areas that we're going to work on this semester is ensuring that we have a system in place that effectively monitors and tracks progress toward a degree. And that will involve considerable work with the academic units to make certain that we have the latest information regarding approved degree plans for each of the student-athlete majors. And that process is ongoing. It started sometime before this, but we hope to bring some closure to that process this semester so that those questions are no longer a thing we have to worry about. It's just that our student athletes feel like global citizens. They recognize that part of the educational experience, in addition to developing the attitudes and the perspectives and the sensibilities that are associated with civilized people, we expect them to have opportunities to travel and to recognize that the world is a small place and that to feel comfortable interacting with people of other nationalities and races and cultures. Many of our student athletes have not had the experience of traveling on an airplane. I don't want their first experience to be with their first job. I don't want them to not know how to negotiate an airport, buy a ticket, and get through security, and read the TV monitors that tell you where you're going, where the gate is. So I'd like to provide that experience for our student athletes annually. They ought to all have the experience of flying an airplane. They should all have a passport before they leave. Ideally, they would use it, but as a small step, I think they should have one. They should apply for and receive a passport that will allow them to travel and to see how other people live and what other people struggle with and worry about, and recognize how, in one sense, we're all very similar, regardless of where we live in the world. We have similar aspirations and hopes for ourselves and for our children, but in other ways, how very different, based on circumstances and opportunities, people are. And gain an appreciation for those differences, and a sympathy and empathy for some of those situations. Service project is perhaps related to the question we just spoke about earlier in terms of rounding out individuals. One of the characteristics of being young is a certain narcissism that we all grow through. I believe as teenagers that the world really does revolve around us. One of the ways to recognize that in ourselves and to push beyond it is to be actively engaged in a project that's bigger than we are, something that is more meaningful than just our own lives. Community service is a way for us to do that for our student athletes, to put them in places and situations that force them to get outside of what they're comfortable with, to interact with people they wouldn't normally see or associate with, and to provide meaningful service for them. It expands how they view the world and how they see themselves and how they see other people. Critically important in an educational system that we provide that opportunity for our students, our student athletes specifically. Big picture, we're about developing people. That's what education hopefully does for us. It provides opportunities to expand our understanding and our appreciation and our utility in the world. Our ability to effectively interact and support, to face community or regional or national challenges and assist in the solution. We are developing individuals, adults, grown-ups, who will have those skills, and not only the skills, but the desires, the attitudes, the aptitudes, the values that will drive them to be part of those conversations and part of those solutions. And I hope that all that we do on the field and on the court and in the classroom moves us in that direction in a very deliberate and intentional sort of way. The first thing I think about when I wake up in the morning, unless I have a child jumping on my head, and it's one of the last things I think about when I go to bed at night. It's what I do every day. Critically important. As a former athlete, as a former student, as a lifelong learner, the opportunity to be part of this transformative process in the lives of young people is rich and rewarding. I can't imagine doing anything else.